Why, hello there, everyone. So good to have you here on a Fulfillment Friday. And it's good to be back at the usual time. Things were a bit chaotic last week, but I'm back in style. So, and it's good to see some returning faces in the chit-chat, like Adam Leisman, Jerry Flappelli Official, Pokemon Fire Eevee, and Preston Cox. Seth Carlo is here. And let's check over on the Twitch. Yep, all is proceeding as I desire, yes. Excellent. Hello, Joseph Ashen Burmer. Good to have you here. Well, you know, I think that's the first time I actually heard the opening music play out. It's a bit of a funny thing. Hello, Nathan DeWazzo and Michael Billington and Paw Patrol fan. And there we go with the OBS. Make sure I'm actually looking at everything. They won't show the game at all, Seth mentions. Which game are we talking about? I'm doing well, Paw Patrol. It's been an active day. And also, hello, Anime Fan 9000. Oh, and Green Stew, Mary Drake. But like I say, it's been an active day. It's been an active week. Oh, boy. Oh, since I saw you last, I nearly got blown off the top of an announcer tower at a racetrack. The winds were awful. I have welcomed my family home from a trip where they both saw their goddaughter's first communion and had a memorial for a good friend. So opposite celebrations of life, but celebrations all the same. And, well, just a heck of a lot of running around. Greetings, Blue Griffin Azora. Glad to have you here. And Cartoon Cat Girl. And here I am, another day of organization come and gone, and oh, I'm a little giddy. I got my new entertainment center set up, including a brand new TV. My TV hadn't been updated in 20 years. So now suddenly everything is so much more defined and high resolution. It's a trip, baby. A trip. So, yeah, I was a little late setting this up because I was enjoying Space Marine DOS in high definition. And I gotta say, even with the benefits of this week of the weekly hard mission, it still took a couple tries because, well, it's still a hard mission. Harumph. Harumph, I say. All right, so here we are. Optimus Prime, the greatest Autobot leader until insert your favorite Autobot leader here. I mean, quite frankly, if we're going for over-the-top leaders, I would say Starsaber of the Japanese show Victory. How can I put it? It was Transformers going into the super robot hero, which is basically one guy is there to solve all the problems and the others are just there to be weak so he can look all the stronger. It's a bit of a bum deal, if you ask me. Yes, Inquisitor 751, 20 years. That my Pro Scan served me for, I would say, on and off again, but it never broke on me. It was very reliable. Therefore, I'm trying to find a place to donate it, but you'd think donating TV would be easy. Not so. There's many other places. Hello, Gaiety. Excellent. So, Optimus here. I've been working on him over the last two streams, but he still hasn't a leg to stand on. You may also notice that I've taken a few liberties. I'm going to keep taking liberties. Because, well, that's just how I roll. I transform and roll. Ha ha ha. Eh, ha ha ha. Now, let's unmute my computer. Bring down the volume a little, and let's get a little bit of background music playing. One of these days, I swear I'll go through and update. there we go. I think that's pleasant, passable. There's a level in Space Marine 2 we have to keep the Tyranids from eating wires while finding that one tech priest. Now, Inquisitor, the weekly hard this time is Disruption. That is where you have to keep the Tyranids, a vast consuming consciousness for the uninitiated. They're trying to eat basically an entire city while the Chaos Forces are performing a ritual at a cathedral, which you have to go to disrupt with the aid of a dreadnought. Funny enough, it was the last mission that I'd never played on hardest difficulty, absolute. And now that challenge is behind me, and welcome to it. It's a little bit better than usual because due to some factors, that sounded like I said doo-doo. You basically, enemy health is very limited, but at the same time, my teammates and I couldn't really regenerate health that easily. That was less than fun. Well, Paw Patrol fan, I can't give an exact date on the next After the Fact, but I've been so subsumed in getting my place organized and ready because you can't be creative and productive if you feel like you're tripping over everything in your home. Now that I'm out of that, I want to refocus my efforts. But that'll have to start Sunday because I am off to the races again this week, and which they're expecting more wind and rain. And I'm going to definitely bring a heavier sweater because the one I had did not serve me. If it had a head, I would tell it to bow its head in shame, but all it had was a hoodie. Bow your hoodie in shame. Would I ever use the Darth Sidious theme for Megatron, Preston? Honestly, I don't remember the Darth Sidious theme. Maybe because I'm trying to block out most of the prequels. I know that in the wake of those pesky sequels, people are more forgiving of the prequels' failings. But I still didn't really go for the prequels. Too much winking at the audience, not enough of feeling like I gone on the journey with the characters and experienced the fall with them. And let's see, what else been going on? Okay, so Seth, you were trying to watch a baseball game, but, well, lots of problems. Sorry for those. Oh, Trinair's still spoiling me. Still spoiling me so bad. And well, what else has been going on in this wide, crazy world? Far too much, it feels like. But mostly, I continue. Oh, although here's a funny thing. I applied to be a community guest at Winnie City. And, well, I got a rejection letter. They said they couldn't work me in to the lineup. So, congrats to all the good peeps who are community guests, including Choco Pony, Taylor Boy McCardle and Red Card. I know they'll give people lots of fun. I will be at Winnie City, however. I will be vending, and while they haven't announced anything by way of schedule, I'm hoping to do an After the Fact live. It all depends on what happens next. Michael Bullington. You are saying you don't like Leo Kaiser. Well, I haven't seen enough of Victory to have a strong opinion. They say he's the strongest Decepticon combiner. I think Predaking would like to have words. And so, let's just make this a bit more... Here we go. Oh, yes. I remember, funny enough, I've backed the HasLab Leo Kaiser project. That is where they, essentially, it's a crowdfunder for a new toy, this time of the Decepticon Leo Kaiser. It includes 7 robots, one of whom was killed in the show by Hellbat, who was far more of a cowardly, conniving. He was a little bit of Starscream, while... Oh, what was the green guy's name? Ah, dang it. I don't remember. But anyway, so they'll probably get that going, I hope. Last time they did a HasLab, it didn't turn out so great. They had... One of the figures broke very easily, so they had to reissue updated and corrected figures. Now, I'm actually heartened when a company makes mistakes like that. Not because I enjoy the chaos or misfortune, but rather it's kind of reassuring to know that even a major company can have a flub up. And as long as they fix what went wrong, then I don't feel a need to be resentful. It's when they try and double down and cover up or ignore that I start to think, hey, that's not so great. And there, you're waiting to hear back from Everfree. Yep. Well, I imagine Everfree is going to hold off until Winnie City is complete because, well, there's a time and a place for hype, and I guess you don't want to look like you're trying to usurp another convention's expectation. But what do I know? I am not a con runner. I have no idea. I am speculating. Here we go. Oh, now this is interesting. While the YOLO Park stand has sort of a heel for the figure, makes sense to provide stabilization. The images for Optimus from the original concept design, plus some others, just say, nah, it's just straight back. Well, we'll tackle refinements shortly and forthwith. goodness, you know, it feels a bit stuffy. I forgot to turn on the fan control. Make sure things are going full tilt so my computer doesn't overheat. Paw Patrol, you never been to a physical pony convention before? So, well, that's no crime. It is quite the experience. I'm sorry BronyCon is not present to be the largest. But in terms of sheer scale, I think Everfree is a great experience. My question now is, we've had some changes, like BabsCon closing. So I am wondering who will rise to take the place. Next year will feature some new conventions in California, but not the same location. Which, as much as I love Burlingame for the fact that my family lived there for a time, I'm perfectly fine with not having to contend. Hello. Fine, uninstall and update. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not the biggest fan of the fan. Thank you. There we go. And then just a little, this is more of a placeholder. Alrighty. Oh, come on now. Work with me here. There we go. There we go. Now, we're going to skew this because Optimus is taking a slight step back. Whoa, that's not right. That's the scale tool. I want the shear tool. Excellent. How did everyone's Mother's Day go? Asked Cherry Fluff Belly Official. Well, mine was a bit curious. You see, my family, the trip I mentioned earlier, they just came back around 7:15 p.m. I had taken the day to, well, take care of a few other projects, but also, as I was picking them up from the said airport, I made sure that they had something to eat when they got home. Just got a cold dinner from Whole Foods, there we go, or Whole Paycheck, depending on how you view that place. But it worked out perfectly. They were very happy and hungry. So my Mother's Day gift was not exactly tailored to the day, but I'm happy if I could help. They've since spent the week getting back in gear, back in action. And well, I will hope for a slightly calmer weekend as a result. Again, previous weekend was pretty cray-cray, and weather is still my enemy. The enemy I cannot defeat. My mom is insistent on no gifts on Mother's Day. She says that it is a day to help others remember their moms, but she never feels forgotten, so she insists on no gifts, which is nice of her, but I want to spoil her somehow. Does that make me a disobedient son? I don't know. I'm sorry, Mama. Ooh, what happened here? Here we go. Or rather, here it went. What gives here? There you are. Looking pretty good. Cons are too far away for Blue Griffin Azora. And feeling shy to go alone. You know, I went alone to my first convention before I got into the YouTube scene. Still got to hang and chat with people and, you know, but hey, there's no pressure. You are a fan of the show no matter where you are. Just know that I'm betting people would like to see and talk with you. There we go. Here's the VAs that should have been in MLP. Mark Hamill, Richard Iode, Olivia Colman, Rob Paulson, Greg Baldwin, Jason Isaacs, Dave Fennoy, Sabrina Carpenter, Tim Robinson, and anyone from the Amazing Digital Circus, according to Seth Moss. That's quite the list. Preston, you want to know what BabsCon is like? How can I say? It's the best run first year convention 10 years running. It's like, it always has that energy of they're trying to, or it had, I guess, the energy of trying to get everything put together as a first year would, even though they've changed ownership, they've changed leaders. It's been a while. It was a wild ride start to finish, but it was the first Brony convention I ever attended. So no matter what, I have fond association with it. All right. Well, what's this doing here? There we go. All right. So there is a mostly complete Optimus Prime, but we're going to add some refinements. Well, let's group our boy up. Case in point. These panels, what do they do? I don't know. It's funny that this drawing shows tires in the, right, at least I think those are tires, but nothing in robot mode with the full colored version. There's Prime having a bad day, but not as bad as the movie. Now this one, Convoy 3.0. Each of these is an opening. Okay. But, you know, looking at it, I much prefer this style where they're very clearly a panel. So we're going to go that route. Let's bring Optimus over here and see what we can do to make this look a bit more slanted. Here we go. Speaking of the movie, you think the movie's 40th anniversary is this year, Blue Griffithsora? Yes, although I believe that they're calling it the Transformers Apology Tour. They killed Optimus, and fans have never quite forgiven them since. It's too bad. I did like the galaxy, or rather the more interstellar travels of the Transformers. These are the voyages of the Autobot Skylynx. His continuing fabulous mission to be the best at everything. For those who don't know, Skylynx had a very high opinion of himself. A little too high, in fact. Hello. Did this not... Oh. The mask did not take. Or rather, did not transfer. In fact, where's the darn thing? There you are. Get over here. Honestly, you take all the time to put the mask together, and what does it do? Bails on you. There we are. And up here. Excellent. Now, please stay connected this time, eh? Oh, Eggman, you're not late. You're right on time. Anthony C., good to have you here. And yes, I'm eyeballing these as best I'm able. I mean, the goal is to create something believable, not just traceable, but we're going to try. Emphasis on try. Here we go. Yep. Whoops. And one more. I like that because it looks like sort of a, not only does it look like an exhaust vent, so that he doesn't overheat, but also if he wanted, those could, if he stomped an enemy, those could deliver some pretty painful jets. Bet you wouldn't see that in Transformers 1. Flamethrower, sure, but stomp jets? Now he's talking. Ah, interesting. They want that to be the end of the panels. Intriguing. But what do I want? There's the question. Yes, I'm being selfish. It's me, me, me. But then again, this is what I'm trying to draw. So, yeah. Yeah, I say. we go. Let's just bring this up. Try to keep basically drawing a line through here. What is the purpose of this line? You will find out very directly. Here we go. Let's see. Cosmo saying you totally get the Starlink thing using the monologue of Star Trek. Starlink would see himself as the true star of Star Trek. Oh, you mean Skylinks? Autocorrect's a fickle friend, isn't it? Actually, wait. I'm trying to think. Was there a character in Transformers called Starlink? Not there should be. That's a pretty cool name. If I put a copyright on that, can I get a little bit of that sweet Transformer action? Now see, I'm already breaking my rules. Perspective must be respected. And there we go. Let's see, Ayami Bliss figuring out applying to Everfree. Elon wouldn't like it. Oh yeah, honestly, if I could tick off Elon Musk in the process, that's just like bonus points. I'd be so, well, trollishly happy. Granted, it wouldn't be like the fun little trolling I do with my compadres in the Brony fandom, like Lightning Bliss. Those are more just fun little shenanigans. His shenanigans are cruel and evil. Evil shenanigans. And if we just extend this down here. There we go. Don't need this line anymore. Yes, lovely. Lovely. Now then, before I move to correct the other leg, let's just take a quick gander at the many forms of Prime. I think... What else do I want to do? Ah, yes. Here's an interesting notice. Right around here at the top of his legs, right where they connect to the thighs. In one version, they protrude. In one version, they recess. Interesting takes all around. It shows how he is ever evolving in presentation, but I like this more. So, we're gonna extrude some elements. Like this one. Although, here's a question. What did they have to compensate at all for? Yes, they did. And so shall I. Again, align to better reflect things, which means these should come down here. And then let's move these down just a little. Yep. And then as a little cheat, just take this, bring it over, cut out the excess. And we make micro adjustments. Welcome, Swordbreaker. Glad you could make it. And Wheels of Steel. Why does Snoop Dogg use an umbrella? Faux drizzle. Nicely done. I am a blist. Oh, no worries, Wheels of Steel. Dictation is fickle. That's why I still type most of my work. Because goodness knows I never knew I had an accent. Well, okay, I didn't know I had an accent until I went to Scotland, but still. Went into a Starbucks because they are universal. It was also the only place I could really connect to the internet. And one of the people there was like, "You have the coolest accent." It's like, I'm from Colorado. Colorado doesn't do accents. I don't know, we're kind of white bread, I guess. There we go. Much better. A more dynamic. There we go. Looking good. Let's see. What other Transformers characters will we be making after Optimus Prime? Well, first I'll shift gears to Twilight Sparkle. Whoop, and son of a gun. Darn mask. Wonder why they didn't transfer with the group. Let's see. After Optimus and Twilight, my next goal will be Sunset and Rodimus Prime. Let's run through who I'm thinking for each. Applejack pairs well, I think, with Ultra Magnus. Pinkie Pie with Bumblebee. Then change things up a little with the others. Actually pair them with Decepticons. I think Fluttershy and Soundwave would get along pretty well. Rarity and Knockdown. I mean, they're both travel the path of the fabulous. And Rainbow Dash and Thundercracker was a surprising duo, but I think it actually works. It took a little research, but it turns out Thundercracker is not as, how could I say, as doggedly loyal to the Decepticon cause as others. He sometimes wonders if they're doing the right thing. And Rainbow, if there's one thing Rainbow has wrestled with in the show, it is the occasional conflicting loyalty. Now, something looks a little off here. Well, first off, yeah, there we go. That's better. Let's ungroup this since it's all coming together. What would happen if I did this? Move you a little lower. And then, yes. There we go. Now we're talking. So you reckon Unicron? Well, great hungers. That does make sense. Although I wondered if Chrysalis, as she essentially represents the hunger of the hive that she partially inflicted. So, I mean, Celestia Primus seems a given. But I'm not planning to do them in a standee duo just yet. First, let's see if I can get the main 6 put together. Oh yes, and then there's Spike and Grimlock, to be sure. Hello, illustrious Q. Oh, and farewell to Enderpup. Asking if we keep track of how many times I say, let's see here. Rodimus with Sunset is a perfect combo, says the NPC. I appreciate that. Eggman wonders, Masterson or Powers from Transformers Animated? Masterson or Powers? Wait, wasn't Masterson the jerk who, like, kicked Sari out when he thought he could steal the company from her? Now I gotta, pardon me while I look this up real quick. Transformers, Masterson. Oh, the headmaster from Transformers Animated. Oh, boy. I will always appreciate that scene where he says to Optimus Prime, "You can't stop me. I'm Leet. Too bad for you. I don't know what that means." I was very proud of Optimus Prime that day. So proud. Show that young whippersnapper who's boss. Now, I will say, I believe I've done a poor job with the perspective on these. Because, look at, there's only supposed to be 4, but look at this distance. Let's see what we can do and improve here. Actually, the easiest way would probably be... height is... oh. Yeah, so about 0.25. There we go. Let's see here on a t-shirt, says Anthony. That'd be something. I don't know how many people... what would I do for a visual with it, though? It's gotta... what could I do? I mean, I could have a picture of the ocean, wrong sea, but... or it could be some orange juice, vitamin C. Rather reaching with the puns on that one. Okay, good, but not great. You know what? I just realized something. Need to move this in and have it angle. There we go. Preston Cox wonders, what Transformer would I pair the CMC with? Now, that's a tough one. I mean, the Crusaders are essentially, I like to describe them as three aspects of one unity. Apple Bloom is the heart of the group, Sweetie Belle the mind, and Scootaloo the body or action. Only by working together are they a truly complete individual. So, offhand, I would think the three Minicons from Transformers Armada, who become, well, okay, they called their combined form Perceptor in America. What were they called in Japan, though? Once again, to the interwebs. A Perceptor. Come on, show me the good stuff. Alternatively, I guess I could put them to the three brain masters who become Road Caesar. You know, a three-part combiner is the idea here. But no, I believe that it works better. What was he called, though, in Japan? The Street Action Team, known as Street Action Micron. The three members of the Street Action Team. Sure Shock was the legs. He was the Segway. Grindor and Highwire. Grindor being, I believe, the skateboard. Foreign names. Here we go. Japanese, they were Bumble, Cliff, and Cliff Jumper. What? Well, I guess I need to watch subs of Armada to know what the hey they're talking about. Here we go. There we go. Excellent. Not quite right, though. Note how the toes go one way, but not the panels. Let's see if we can fix this. take you and you and you, and I'll move them. I feel a creeping danger as I lose control of that which I've tried to create. There we go. Looking a little bit better now. Pardon me, just seeing... Oh, Trina, you got to head out for a bit? You're at your reunion. Marvelous. Well, have fun. Don't worry about us. We're doing just fine. But enjoy. My best to all your classmates, whom a guy they've never met wishes them well. There we go. There we go. Here we go. 1 and 2. Ah! Treachery. Okay, there we go. That looks a little bit more in line. Now we'll just give Optimus a little bit of a... Whoop. Excellent. Now we work on the legs a little bit more. What Transformer would I pair with Trixie? Oh, that's an easy one. That's Starscream all the way. Now, truth be told, pairing Megatron up has actually proven a harder concept. I mean, I could pair him with T-Rex or Sombra or Chrysalis. I mean, they had that comic stint together, but I think it was Q who suggested that it be Silver-Quill. Just put me right next to Megatron. Have Megatron blow me up. Gaiety, yes, bonfires do make one think of saving, because if anything goes wrong, it would be akin to losing things in a raging fire. In my heart. Here you go, and let's add a little bit more of an angled approach here as well. So I just saved, though we're also close to the top of the hour. Hey ha, time flies when you're drawing a prime. Can't say I've seen Game Over, Segman. Oh, Preston, you're going for the jugular now. Who would I pair with Snips and Snails? Two characters with whom, up until they got a little bit of character development in the buttball area, I didn't much like. So, I hate to say it, but Skids and Mudflap from the Transformers Bayverse, which is not a compliment. In fact, honestly, I feel kind of bad for them that I would even think of such a thing. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Yes, Adam Leisman, unfortunately, I'm passing on prime time, but then we'll get Twilight time. Here we go. Very nice. Yes, very nice. But you might notice Optimus appears to be poking at thin air. It's always thin air. We ever have thick air? What do I think of Twilight Time now versus when I first reviewed it, Eggman? Well, we've gotten to see more of the various fillies and colts that were present, so it's fun. It's nice to see that they didn't just come and go for one episode. You know, when I think back on season 4, they were trying to have Twilight act as more of a more mature, trying to, rather than having craziness or trying to make the I'm having trouble with my words here. Especially in Twilight Time, often she seemed to be showing that she was wiser, more mature by pointing out other people's mistakes. But in doing so, I felt like that she was losing a bit of Twilight herself. I still think she gave a really sick burn when she said that none of them came to learn. Now, down here we have something that's been more recent. These are the icons of the 13 primes. We're going to start with Prima Prime up here in the corner. But I also need just a quick moment's inspiration. So let's go to Vecteezy. And I'm going to type in hologram display, make sure nothing untoward appears. Nothing untoward, but nothing terribly interesting either. I mean, geez. Hologram symbols? Nope. Hologram readout. Well, it would help if I actually wrote hologram. But people seem to think it's like... Yeah, but A. Don't be showing my passwords or nothing, computer. See, their idea of hologram really doesn't work for me. That's disappointing. Wonder if I just typed in sci-fi hologram. What would that? Sci-fi. Better, but not what I need. Nope. No, sirree. We'll have to tackle that shortly. So here we go. Prima Prime. The nice thing is, old Prima here was kind enough to make their symbol symmetrical. So really, all I gotta do is draw half of it. One and two and three and four. You still got a self spot for Amalgamus, Lesios. Now, Amalgamus Prime. So you have to be careful. There's an Alchemist Prime. Amalgamus was the combiner, right? No, that was Nexus Prime. Oh dear. Oh yes, Amalgamus Prime was the first Transformer who, well, took transforming to a whole new level. This was a guy so enraptured by the transformation, he basically had no set form. He didn't just, transform into a car or a jet. His whole body reconfigured time and again, even changed between gas, liquid, and solid. He probably experimented with a little bit of plasma in his youth, too, but he never inhaled. Ah, cancel? What was that now? Okay, and now... Close, we're looking good. In the hood. Not really sure what Prime's symbol is supposed to represent. Looks kind of like a face. Like an early version, truthfully, of the Decepticons, now that I look at it. Vector Prime was a time traveler, Preston. He appeared in Transformers Cybertron. Or what was it called in Japan? Galaxy Force. There we go, looking good. Now here's Alchemist Prime, which I believe Alchemist was more about mixing things up. And I think McAdam from Transformers Cyberverse was an inspiration for him, or vice versa. It's hard to keep it all straight and chronologically. The very first combiner, Lysios, that's Nexus Prime, who, at least I believe it is. Actually, there's an interesting point to be made about Nexus Prime. Let me just bring up his image real quick. Here we go. This is Nexus Prime. I've seen a lot of people say he looks pretty boring. It's partially based, the coloring is based on an earlier rendition of him, but his body is based on Transformers 1. And people are like, oh, it's so boring and square. Here's the thing. The 13 Primes, the very first Transformers, were all direct offspring of their god Primus. And I want you to think back to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. What did the Holy Grail look like? Was it the cup of a king or the cup of a carpenter? You know, how Indy chose wisely and the Nazi did not. I see something similar going on with Nexus. He doesn't look all that grand or over the top, but he doesn't have to. If something is divine or sincere, it doesn't need to show off. It just is. And I think that's the case with 13. So I don't mind the fact that did I close it? I don't mind that Nexus doesn't look terribly flashy. I do mind that his transformation mode is a brick. That's supposed to be a jet. When I say that things need to be sincere, there's nothing more sincere than aerodynamics. They really made a mistake with that transformation mode. Also, it's hinted that the limbs for his combiner mode, because Nexus was the first combiner, may be coming out in future waves, which one video I saw rather rightly commented that this is the first Transformer toy with DLC. You have to buy more to actually complete it. Not a good look for Hasbro all around on that. It's quite silly. Yes, quite. Here we go. Just reduce that and that and that and that. There you go. So there we go. Nexus Prime. Now, Quintus Prime. This guy was all about biology. In fact, it's hinted that he made the Quintessons, a group that is not well liked by the Transformers, as they're either continually trying to kill or enslave said Transformers. Geez. And because apparently Quintus likes to make things really difficult for me, we're just going to do a little trickery here. Even his symbol looks like a bug. There we go, coming along. Ah, Lord, this is a more complex symbol than I'd like. Trying to be swift about this. I understand, Lycius. I don't know anyone who was able to collect every single Transformer out there. I did meet a fellow who said that his brother managed to keep his Optimus Prime, the complete G1 set, to this day. That, I can only imagine how much collectors would pay for something like that. I'm a funny guy when it comes to collecting. I don't do the whole mint in box spiel. To me, it was created to be interacted with, played with. And because it says Transformer, it needs to transform at least once. I've seen some people in the collector community lament that people tend to just get the robot mode, which is what it comes as, and stick it on a shelf, never once transforming it. Feels like unrealized potential there. Now then, I'm going to cheat a little. At least I'm going to try. All this becomes 1. But then, we'll take you and you out of the deal. You're gone, you're gone, you're gone. Ah! It didn't work. Okay, so. Again, gone, 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 gone. Lovely. At least I think so. So now, when I mirror this, off this point, I hope. Rats. Did that wrong. There we go. Little bit off kilter. Not the worst thing, but let's see what we can do to fix this. Now, we need just to fix this. Should be more of a perfect circle. So let's fix that real quick. Don't need you. There we go. That's better. Perfect. One Quistis Prime ready to make a very bad mistake in creating the Transformers antagonists, at least beyond the Decepticons. Really, I don't think any one of the Primes can say, hey, I made everything just right. Jeez, how many anchor points did I put on this thing? There we go. Only Transformer toy Lyceos ever still have is a Robot Wars era Starscream. Oh, that's pretty cool. Hasbro does have a few L's, Adam Leisman. Like, there are many attempts to do variations on their classic board games, like Monopoly Cheaters Edition or Life, Quarter Life Crisis. Eek, yeah, it's those. I could actually see them trying that. I mean, here's a little... Actually, sorry, I lost a train of thought there. Oh, too bad. But I could see someone doing that. You don't get lucky in the game of life, you just drive, you just keep driving. Now who we got here? Optimus Prime. Okay, so yes, the Transformer who really set the bar for transformation and T-Cogs. Preston, I have no idea how Lauren Faust reacted to the Transformers MLP crossover comic. Well, as far as I know, she's kept her distance since she left the show because it's no longer her creation. And I can understand that. Though honestly, I'm not sure what she's been up to since. I know there were plans for a movie about Medusa that she seemed really keen on, but then she left the project. And on the one hand, I don't know whether to respect that she has the creative integrity to know when she doesn't want to do something, versus the concern of she disagrees and leaves too often. If that makes any sense. At what point is it less that you're creative with strong opinions and more you're just hard to work with? Interesting. My symmetry is off. Time for a little bit of we need to get away from this dark background. Oh my gosh, it's already 7:21. Tell you what, if 7:30 rolls around, I'm going to switch gears and start drawing the Twilight Sparkle. Because the 13, they've waited millennia. They can wait a little longer. Actually, I was a little lucky yesterday. I swung by a Target after an errand, and sure enough, they had Liege Maximo, the Prime of Lies. Quite the tactician, not so great as a person. Okay, let's try this now. We'll center it on you. Woo! There we go, that got a little freaky. Huh. Now that one well, when it was sideways, I thought of an insect. Vertically, I'm actually thinking of a pineapple. You're an hour ahead of me, Eggman. So that's what? It's almost 8:30 your time. Medusa was canceled. Ah, rats. Optimus Prime should crush Sven Gallop with his... Well, that's a hard call. I mean, it's Optimus Prime. He wouldn't harm a sentient being. If you ever want to see Optimus really troll someone, there's the G1 episode Prime Target, where a hunter, not an interstellar one, not a Decepticon, just a really rich guy with honestly too much money and time on his hands, decides he wants to hunt and mount the head of Optimus Prime in his collection. His name is Chumley. And while the episode itself is already bonkers, Optimus really knows how to carry a grudge and is like, even when the Decepticons retreat, he's like, let him go. I've got my own target. Although perhaps most troubling in that episode was the fact Optimus had a overload receiver button, which basically, if you're in communication with him, he can make your home entertainment or computer blow up at will. It's like, wow, Prime, you take this seriously. Of course, that episode is also rather infamous for Optimus Prime's line when the Decepticons get caught in a trap. Amazing, a booby trap that actually catches boobies. Shining Armor and Beast Wars Silverbolt. Well, Shining doesn't strike me as quite so old school, would I call Silverbolt. He's noble to a fault. Shining's a bit more loose. I might actually put Shining Armor with Defensor, the combiner, the Protectobot combiner, who does, well, funny enough, creates force fields. Unfortunately, both suffered a pretty difficult lack of introduction and development. Don't get me wrong, Shining became a very likable guy, but he's like supposed to be the head of the guard. You never got to see that side of him, really. What makes him head of the guard? What does he really do that makes all the other guards respect him so? And of course, he and Cadence never really got a chance to solve a problem on their own. By show design, they had to call on Twilight. I think the low point for me, and folks who saw Bronies React might have seen this, when both of them think that the other was taking care of their daughter, who it turns out has been grabbed by Sombra, I just thought, on the one hand, yes, parents make that mistake. They thought, oh, I thought you were calling the sitter. Oh, no, I thought you were calling the sitter. Uh-oh. But this is their daughter's safety at play. You'd think that they'd have a better system in place, but no. They had to be shown a lapse in judgment because they need Twilight to come in and save the day. Of course, we did get to see Cadence's war face. Arr. There we go. You know what? That was Solus Prime, the first female. Actually, I think she's the only female of the group. she unfortunately died, and her spark became, well, she became the well of all sparks. In which case, she could be considered the mother of all Transformers. And do any of them get her a Mother's Day gift? No! Let's see. How can I do this? I don't think this will distribute the way I'd like. Nope. But you seem off-center to me. Let's align you two along the bottom. There we go. What if there's a specific color for each prime? Yep. Q, most of the primes are dead. As far as I know, only Alpha Trion and Vector Prime managed to stick around. Although some of them are just simply MIA. Like, no one knows what happened to Quintus Prime, but I think one could assume that if he created the Quintessons, they weren't the most grateful creations. Solus is definitely dead. Megatronus is definitely dead. Liege Maximo, he tends to pop up every now and again. Not sure what happened to a lot of the others, but they are presumed gone. Now, who's this? Onyx Prime. Ah, the first beast former. His toy is rather interesting. He transforms into both a griffin-like thing and a dragon-like thing. It's all a bit weird. Oh, this didn't line up the way I thought. Oh well. Okay, I did that wrong. Somehow I did that wrong. It did not work. Oh, wait, I think I see what I did wrong. First off, this should be extended outward. Then, whoop. Ah. Well, that didn't work either. Okay, let's just take what we got, because time waits for no one, and I did promise. Alrighty, now let's unite all these. There we go. Up we go. And that is Onyx Prime. Let's align these on the top. Here we go. Oop. I might call a do-over on that one. It looks lopsided to me. I do not abide the lopsidedness. No, sir. Oh, Cherry Fluff Belly, it is dinner time. Well, I wish you a wonderful meal. Have a good one. So let's get, whoop. All right, let's see if Optimus, do we have the same mask troubles? No. Okay, Optimus is set. His holographic displays of the 13 will be set. Oh, good IQ. I'm forgetting Onyx Prime was, oh dear, then that means most of these guys are upside down. Okay. All right, so now let us turn to one Twilight Sparkle. And, well, my use of the Body-chan, which is a Japanese pose figure. However, even then, there's still some things I'd like to improve. But let's start with just some general shape. Not going to try and stay totally true to the Equestria Girls, but I'm also going to try to not be, how can I put it, giving Twilight quadruple Ds or something. There we go. She's, after all, supposed to be a teenager. So let's be conservative in this. I'd also like to, let's test a little something. I want to create one a little bit more meeting here, but then using the pin tool, I'm going to put a pin here, and extend this back. I want Twilight to lean into the process. Actually, you know what? I should save that because I should also be drawing. Okay, one thing at a time. Right now, basic shapes. Just got Pragmata. The single father simulation. I'm sorry that that's generated such a stir that, well, to be honest, I'm like, okay, a lot of guys just really like it and genuinely would like to experience being a father. That sounds nice. But there are a few people who make more risque comments, and that has people understandably frustrated. But I think it's a mistake to define any fandom by its worst element, i.e., the guys who really don't understand this is a kid. You shouldn't be drawing something like that. I have not gotten Pragmata. I'm not sure if I'd be that pragmatic with it. Goodness knows I mostly just throw myself into Space Marine and kill the enemies of mankind. Now, the hardest part, at least for me, excuse me, is the hands. Especially since when I removed the background around this body, John, which wasn't a great photo, I just used my phone. I'm just trying to draw the hands in a believable way. So let's see here. Eggman. You never got into Equestria Girls? Understandable. Not everybody was on board with it. I wasn't too thrilled by the first movie, but as we got into it and Sunset became her own character, I felt like it became a likable enough series. I also appreciated when it finally moved beyond Equestria and could be its own thing. Oh, wait, I'm drawing this all wrong. Wait, nope. Momentary loss of perspective in my brain, but I got better. My thought here is that while Optimus is working with holograms of his predecessors, Twilight is coaxing magic from a book. I've liked the idea of both these characters being librarians. That's why I put them together, even more so than the fact that they are the respective leaders of their teams. Or should I say the leaders of their respective teams? Words are hard. Hands are evil, random weirdo. It's true. Now, technically, the middle finger is the tallest, but I'm having it angled so that the index is more upright. Okay, as hands go, that I think the fingers are okay, but good golly. Let's bring it down a little. There we go. That's looking a little bit better. This one's going to take some refinement. As part of my organization, I unboxed a hand model. It's like just a very articulate hand. So maybe I should give that a go too. And now there's a Mad Munchkin in the chat. Hello, Maddie. And yes, me fail English. That's impossible. Let's give Twilight a little bit shoulder. More of a gentle slope if I can help it. Do. Okay, now is the time to see if I can group this up. Whoop. Sorry, Optimus. Group this up and use the pin to enhance. Hello? Let's put a pin here. Put a pin here. Put a pin up here. Oh, drat. It has to be even grouped. It has to be a single shape. Or we just cut a line. And we'll use the rotation tool. There we go. Eggman, whatever reasons you did or did not get into something, it's all entertainment. It is your choice. No judgment. Now, if you happen to not like Princess Luna or Fluttershy, I won't offer judgment. I will, however, just go really hard. Let's shrink that down because that is way too much. I guess right now it's just make a general pose and then I'll refine to match. I'm not going to go the full giant head Equestria Girls. I mean, good golly, look at that. Just look at the size of Sputnik head. It's cranium. Oh, random weirdo. I too struggle drawing hands. What I found, I watched some tutorials and, well, even saved some images that are tutorials. Basically, they describe drawing a sort of mitten and then go from there. Divide the mitten into segments. Oh, but hands are a wicked, wicked thing to draw. Oh, excuse me. As I'm sure Maddie can attest. Now, I also need to think about how would she be holding a book? The book should be out here. I think that hasn't changed. But it needs to be open. And yes, I will definitely need a better hand pose than what I chose. Oh well. But at least I can make a good rhyme. I'm a poet and I know it. I'm trying to show it. Don't tell me to stow it. Something about that is too sharp an angle. Hands were not a problem for you, Mary, when you drew. Well, I congratulate and possibly resent just a little. Just a little. You do the mitten methods. Ah, yes. Wait a minute, Mary. I'd like to know, why were hands not a struggle for you? What secret do you know that you're not telling us? Did you make a deal with the drawing devil, i.e. the anti-Ross? That'd be something. Bob Ross was... Okay, that guy had just a magical voice that could calm even the greatest temper. I should know, I listened to him when I was having a bad day and just, like, felt calmer. Like, okay. I won't blow up the world just yet. You don't recall what threw you off back then, but it was something. Well, oh man, if we could, sometimes it's good that we don't remember every single thing that threw us off. Else it would throw us off trying again. Now give her a little bit more of a calf, not that much. And bring that little less. Now let's see what. Oh, that. Oh, God, that does not look like. The heel needs to be higher. Rob Ross still inspires Cosmo and Inspiro to this day to try more landscape art, digital and or colored pencil. Excellence. AI hates hands? Well, that's okay. Hands hate AI. AI can make you want to throw your hands up. Now, a little foreshortening on her forearm. So the hand would be facing more towards the audience, but also holding a book. See, this is good info for when I take a photo of the hand model. Now, let's abandon. What are we thinking? I mean, okay, proportion-wise, Equestria Girls threw that out long ago. But I'm trying not to make it overly sexual. I'm trying not to be, hey guys, want to buy my fan art service? This is just a general head shape. Now Twilight has a little divot. And we move that over here. I don't think me doing the pose myself would be very good. I am not even one. I'm old. I couldn't manage this pose, but also I don't think I'm a good reference for a teenage girl. Maybe not so sharp on the, what would I call it? The indent of the face? Thinking. Here we go. Sound like Winnie the Pooh. Think. There we go. Yep. Right, Pokemon Fire Eevee, I don't have the hips for it. Bob Ross should have met Fred Rogers. Yeah, Eggman, that would have been quite the power combo. Now, I'll let you guys in on something that I've been percolating in my brain. Though you have to follow me down a bit of a rabbit hole. So, I've watched this anime called Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. In it, an elf who was part of a party to defeat the Demon Lord is seeing the world unfold after their adventure. And even after her party members have all passed of old age. But in this, she has to deal with demons. And people are saying that because Frieren doesn't buy their guff about, or their attempts to manipulate, they're saying, see, empathy is a bad thing. And I'm like, no, this is not empathy. This is projection. It's important to know the difference. Mostly because people still have that sin of empathy mentality, which I find baffling. So, to bring this back to to Mr. Rogers, both he and Miss Rachel, who apparently is doing linguistic videos for kids, they have so much in common. I really wish Mr. Rogers and Miss Rachel could meet. I have no idea what he would think about the politics of this era, but just the fact that people are laying into her because, oh God, she feels empathy for people. It's just, that strikes me as wrong on so many levels. Drives me nuts. So Bob Ross, Steve Irwin, Briggs 7 is saying bring Steve Irwin. I'm not sure that would work so well. He'd probably be like, crikey! And then chase after the nearest animal. But the big three of Mr. Rogers, Miss Rachel, and Bob Ross. All right, so how's this looking? I'm going to try something a little more wild. Once again, separate at the waist. Let's see just how far this can go without becoming comical. You know, like suddenly it's like, oh God, call a chiropractor. I thought I cut this here. Hey, what's going on? My poor computer, it's not always able to display everything. Oi. There we are. I think that can still work. But I need to, okay, well, the hand model holding a book would be an excellent way. But here we are coming up to close to the top of the hour. So next time, we'll continue with another, what is it? I got the first 7. So there are 6 more to go. Wow. I must be tired if even that basic math is beyond me. Oh, but first let's also just enjoy... I want to emulate the swish in Twilight's hair. Almost said mane. I'm that programmed by MLP. And we'll just divide this up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Little line. And just get a little bit over here. Round that off. Good. That's looking nice. Excellent. Just going to take a little bit more. I'm going to angle this a little too, just because could use a good swoosh. Oh, Random Weirdo, I appreciate this. You missed listening to me. Made a huge impact on my life. Was 10 years ago in high school. Oh my goodness. Well, high school's a rough go, so I hope things got easier, or perhaps you came to understand yourself a bit better. I certainly went through that process. But here we are. It's the top of the second hour, and so I think now is a good time to save, to call it a night, to have some dinner, and, well, to keep moving forward, as is life. So everyone, thank you for hanging with me as I got Optimus at least stabilized. We'll see what else we can do to further stylize him. And now it's a question of just the 13 primes. And then Twilight Sparkle. Book Mage Extraordinaire. But either which way, I hope you can all have a wonderful weekend. Take it easy on yourselves. Hopefully have some fun. And, well, spare a thought for me, because there's a 40% chance of rain where I'll be streaming racing tomorrow for low budget TV. So let's hope that the 60% wins out. Rain does not do well for that evening. But in the meantime, everyone, just be safe and be well. I'm Silver-Quill. Thanks for watching.